we're not doing anything new. The ancients did this too. The indigenous peoples, this is what they did. So we're just coming back online during this renaissance of psychedelics and saying we demand our position.
And I want to speak about that. Like last week, I was doing my trainings for a certified peer specialist, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they was talking on the subject matter about healing from trauma.
Yes.
And everyone wrote down different suggestions. I was one of the people that wrote down mushroom trips, and they kind of looked at me a little weird. You know what I'm saying? And I quickly had to educate them that, hey, these was used by the ancients.
Yes.
And these really do help when they're not abused.
Absolutely.
And just like my good brother, Baba Soul said, I remember at the wellness event a couple years ago, you have to put your intention into these plants.
Yes.
And use them in a certain space. So I want to say, for the people that don't know about ayahuasca.
I always say ashwagandha too.
Yeah. I was about to say ashwagandha.
You say ashwagandha right in there.
Yeah. For the people who don't know about
ayahuasca.
There you go.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is it?
So it is. It's a plant that is native to Peru, in that it is psychoactive. Basically, it is called the visionary medicine, meaning you can have visions, past, present, or future, and everything in between. You know what I'm saying? And we also call her grandmother, regardless to what you got going on, right? She's there to give you correction, direction, constructive criticism need be, right? So a lot of times what I found very in my own personal journeys with ayahuasca, I found very common is that if it really changes your perception about things that have happened to you. So say that you were abused at 5 years old and you've only been able to see that experience one way. What Aya has the potential to do is to help you see it a different way. Like, for instance, if you hadn't gone through that, you wouldn't be the person you are today. And she might show you that in real time, in efforts for you to be able to look at it from a different lens. And once you look at it from a different lens, this is what frees us. This is what heals us. Essentially, healing is a change of perception, which in a lot of times is a miracle. And what is a miracle? Something that seems impossible, but happens anyway. And so that's what I would say about ayahuasca, and that's the way it kind of reboots the. Tellus would always say, Chief Nighthawk would always say, it's like cleaning your hard drive. When you have a computer that you have so much information on, it starts running sluggish, starts running slow, starts having viruses, and so the human body is where they got the template for all this technology. You know what I'm saying? If we're honest, and so that template where you say, we're going to start cleaning this computer up so that you can function better. So that is the aim and the goal of, I would say, of ayahuasca. Yes.
So I've actually done a hape ceremony as well. Could you inform me the difference between the two? My first hape was an immaculate experience.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure. I've heard about an ayahuasca ceremony as well, but I never could officiate the two. How does that work?
I mean, they're very different because hape is not psychoactive. You know what I'm saying? Ayahuasca will last you at least 5 hours. So that's just on the base level. Yeah, they're two different worlds.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And for our audience, what is a
hape?
What is a hape?
Hape.
A hape.
Yes. So it's basically like nose snuff. You know how you have the snuff that people chew in their mouth?
Mm-hmm.
But this is a snuff that is also from indigenous peoples where they make it. There's different hapes. So sometimes the community community or their tribe would do hape before they hunt. They would do hape before they eat. After they eat, there's hape for you for when you go to bed. So it's administered through the nose. And basically clears a lot of mucus. You would be surprised how many people are just not smelling, not tasting on a daily basis. And so when the senses are dull, so will the intuition be, because the senses are all linked together. So that's what all these medicines, they're to invigorate the senses, to invigorate the third eye, the sixth sense, you know what I'm saying, so that you can make better decisions in life. Because when you are making decisions from limited information, my left nostril don't work, or I can't taste my food, that may make you eat more or eat less. It just depends. So you want to make decisions when you can look at the full spectrum of reality. But it's hard to do that when you're clouded by so many different things in your environment. What you have to do. You're a mother, you got kids, you're a father, you got to go to 9 to 5. All these things as you get older really take a toll on your well-being, and if you don't have a context to measure that by, you don't know how far that goes. So these medicines are kind of like a wake-up call to like, yo, I got to get myself together, or I didn't know how much this was affecting me.